Okay, Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum, Ummah. Welcome to another Friday night uh, with Serious and Sincere, where we do matchmaking for Muslims who are serious and sincere about finding their mate. We interview our Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Okay. Forgive me. Yes, look, on time. She worked for somebody who don't play. All right. Miss Allen V coming on. Let me start over.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah reward you for your patience.
How are you? I'm just excited about this $5 Target ring light that I bought. It's clipped to my laptop and it's fabulous because the lighting in my place is terrible. So I actually look presentable although I'm exhausted.
Alhamdulillah. We match. We match. Okay.
How are you? You look great as always.
Likewise. Okay, you glowing for real. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum to our visitors. I'm just gonna start off with our introduction. Again, it got a little choppy on the opening. So assalamu alaikum.
Welcome.
Thank you all. Yeah, it's our guest, Vernetta. Thank you so much. Please excuse me. I'm restarting after a fresh wake up at 8:57. So let me welcome everybody to Serious and Sincere, where we do matchmaking for Muslims who are serious and sincere about finding their mate. We interview one Muslim seeking marriage live on Instagram every Friday. And this evening, alhamdulillah, we have a long time.
Finally caught me. Pinned me down.
Okay. Okay, when a Hanks long time aunties. Alhamdulillah. Welcome, Vernetta.
Thank you.
Can you please give us your age, your location, and what you do for a living?
Right to the point. Well, assalamu alaikum, everyone. I see we have a few join, and hello, I see my girlfriend Kim just joined.
Welcome, Kim.
So she'll be here in firsthand. Okay, so I am in the DC metro area. I live in the DC metro area on the Virginia side. I am a female. She, her, hers is my pronoun.
Yes. Thoroughly. Go ahead, sis. 2 X chromosomes from jump.
I'm just joking. I am currently 43. I might as well claim 44. I'll be 44 next month, inshallah. Allah blesses me to see March 1st. And I am a IT auditor, so I do IT security work. I've been in that field for about 17 years now, the entire time I've lived in the DC area. So
yes. Okay. Where were you before you moved to DC?
So I grew up in Western New York, outside of Buffalo, New York area. But I am originally from the Caribbean. Born in St. Croix, lived there the first 10 years of my life before we moved to the United States proper. So.
Okay.
And so I'm Caribbean American, I like to say.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Do you get to go back home often?
I have not been back to St. Croix in years. The last time I was back was when my grandmother passed when I was about 14. But both my parents are from St. Lucia. So I've been back there more recently. I was just there this past Christmas holiday with my mom and other family. So, you know, meeting more family and getting to spend time with some of my elders, some of my grandmothers and remaining siblings and things like that. So it was nice. Grandmother on both sides, remaining siblings. There's a few. I have a few great aunts and uncles still hanging in there. So alhamdulillah, it was a nice time. Yeah.
Do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have come from a big family. Born and blended. So I've got I'm the eldest of all my blood siblings. I have a sister and two brothers on my mom's side, and a sister and brother on my dad's, and too many to count. Stepbrothers and sisters as well that I grew up with. So big
Okay.
family. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want somebody who, inshallah, has a big family, or is that not a big deal to you?
Not a big deal. I never thought about it, big or small, just someone family oriented, someone that, has a relationship with the family they do have, whether they're an only child or not. Just it's important for someone to be family oriented.
Yes. Alhamdulillah. And how do you feel about a brother who has children already?
I don't mind, depending on, the amount of kids and, his circumstances. I don't like messy, so as long as it's a healthy, relationship and co-parenting and stuff, I don't have a problem with that.
How many kids is too many?
11. I and I throw that out there because I recently had a brother contact me a couple weeks ago, and we chatted briefly, and he had 11 children by 7 different mothers, and so that was way too widespread for me. There was a lot of other things going on, but that's a little. I mean, and they were ages from grown to like 3 years old. So, yeah, I think that's a lot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's I mean, it's circumstantial. I mean, I think it would vary from brother to brother. It all depends because someone maybe my age range or a little bit older may have adult children and may have started young in life, and they've got a bunch of grown kids, that are independent adults, and then they may have a couple, minors. So it all depends on the person, I think, and the circumstances.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. And then do you have a preferred body type?
Not well. I'm about 5'8", so ideally I do like a guy that's taller than me, my height or taller. But I have talked to brothers that were my height or shorter, a little bit shorter. And it all depends on, like I said, it all depends on the person. I mean, when approached, if they're similar, depending on his, basic, bio and similar interests and stuff, I'll give, if there's some interest, I'll give a brother a chance to see if there's any vibing and stuff, because I've lived long enough to know now that, who Allah has for you may come in an unlikely package. So I'm open.
Okay. Can you describe his ideal personality?
I think definitely, I don't know. I mean, easygoing in terms of not quick to anger, not overexcitable in terms of like, quick to like jump the gun at things or overly arrogant. I don't like, super arrogant guys. I don't know. We just have to vibe. I never thought about personality. I mean, something that complements mine. I'm very, as you know, Matul, I'm very outgoing.
Yes.
I'm a chatterbox, so I probably need a balance. Not that he can't be talkative too, but it just has to, I guess it has to mesh and flow. But definitely like the conceitedness and super arrogance, not only are those not Islamic, but it's not attractive to me either. So someone that's, balance. Islam talks about balance. So that's important to me.
Okay, yeah. So someone with a sense of humor, inshallah.
Yeah, yes. Okay. That would be good.
Okay. Do you like to do all the laughing, or do you like it to be like kind of like back and forth?
For what do you mean with sense of humor?
As far as sense of humor goes, yeah, like do you like to make him laugh too? Or is it okay if he's the one who's doing who's I guess cracking all the jokes?
I think reciprocal I think I have a sort of a dry sense of humor, so I think naturally I make people laugh. Hopefully, if they have a sense of humor. If there's someone that, you know, the jokes don't land or the dry humor doesn't land, then I guess that might be awkward. But just, you know, flow, you know, so organic. You know, I just want the interaction to be organic. You know, that's at this stage in life, it's just, can we have organic interactions? In a world of artificial.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so what's his ideal age range, inshallah?
So I've always said in about 5 years younger than me to 5 years older than me. I think I don't. So I will be 44 soon. Next month. So I don't think older than 50 at this stage. I mean, it used to be maybe later, because I used to say like maybe 10 years my elder. But I think between like, I don't know, 38 and 50 maybe at this point. But again, it all depends on the person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. So what exactly does your work involve, and would you want somebody who is maybe I don't want to say who does something similar, or are you expecting to maybe stay home when you get married?
No, it doesn't have to be similar, you know, professions. Although, you know, I mean, you know, similarities, there's always, you know, an understanding and stuff, but that's not necessary. I've always liked the option to be able to stay home if I had children, you know, like if I were to have a child and, you know, want to stay home for like the first 2 years or whatever of my child's life. So I'm not, you know, I don't have a baby in daycare. I've always ideally wanted a husband that's able to, provide for his family, that I have the option to stay home if I want to. I mean, it's not something I've been thinking about in terms of like getting married and becoming like a housewife or anything like that. So I think it would depend on the person and the marriage.
Inshallah. Why do you want to get married?
Halal companionship. You know, I've been riding solo a long time, all my life. And, you know, I mean, just someone, you know, to grow old with, someone that, you know, you're outside of family or close friends that, you know, that's a partner, a confidant, company in the house, you know what I mean? You can take trips and you know, navigate this life together type of thing, you know? Okay. Yeah.
Do you have a preference for madhab or I want to say group, sect?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm Shia. I'm a Shia Muslim. I have talked to brothers that are both, majority of the brothers I've talked to in the past are Sunni Muslims. I've talked to a few Shias, so obviously, you know, being of the same madhab or, you know, having some of the same practices or rituals are always make things easier, you know. It's stuff, you know, when you do that, you don't necessarily have to discuss things or why this or that or differences or explain. So that's been one of the things that I've noticed when I've talked to Shia brothers, is that it was almost like a level of, I wouldn't say weight lifted, but it just felt so different because I didn't have to like explain, you know, why I do this or maybe why I pray with my arms down, or, you know, versus their crosses. Although Sunnis do it both ways too, depending on their madhab within Sunni Islam, or, you know, not have to like have those conversations dispelling, you know, stereotypes about Shia Muslims or Sunni Muslims and things like that. But I'm open, you know, women already have all these, you know, enough restrictions. I wouldn't say restrictions in a negative way in Islam, but like, you know, for Muslim sisters, unlike Muslim brothers, we have to marry a Muslim man. Yeah. So, you know, that's the minimum requirements for me. It all depends on their level of practice. You know, I'm not super conservative, but I'm not very liberal. I'm not a very liberal Muslim, so I'm looking for someone that has similar Islamic values in terms of practice. Someone that's open to differences and tolerant. I think, I have friends who the woman, the sister is Shia, the brother is Sunni, and they've been married for decades, you know what I mean, and make it work. And I've seen the reverse. So I know it's possible. It's not impossible. The only one that I know would probably definitely clash in the ideology is definitely not my twist or Salafi, Wahhabi, those sects of Islam are not for me. So that, and Nation of Islam, it all depends on, the totality of their beliefs. Are they more like Sunni lenient or something like, but there's a lot of differences there too. But Salafi and Wahhabi, not for me.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. And you say you're open to the nation?
I said it depends on what their beliefs are. I know there's divergent practices within the nation. Some of it more maybe cultural, Black power type of stuff versus Islam. So it all depends, because I know there was a shift. A lot of African Americans came into Islam through the nation, but then became Sunni Muslims, you know what I mean, in terms of their practice and ideology. So it all depends on if it's that. If it's before, I guess, Malcolm X type stuff, probably not. It might be too different.
So we getting closer to Ramadan, right?
Yeah.
What are some things that you would be looking forward to enjoying with your spouse during that month?
I think definitely praying together, and not the regular prayers, but just the extra rituals we do during Ramadan, reading Quran together. Currently, for the past several years, I host a teleconference Quran reading circle with my family. And nice. Close friends or whoever wants to join, we have a telecon, same time every day for an hour, and read a juz of Quran the entire Ramadan. And since COVID, it's been very successful. A lot of, and you join when you can, whatever days you can and can't, I'll always be there. And so it's just really nice to read as a group with family, and that would be something nice to spouse. And then at the end, if anyone had questions or thoughts or reflections on, some of the ayah in that juz, we talk about it. If there's something that we don't understand, in someone else can't really explain it, or from the discussion, we'll ping. I have some sheikhs in the family, so we'll email a sheikh to get answers, and then we'll discuss it the next day. So, those extra rituals. And then, of course, Eid, you know what I mean? That's a time for family to, come together and celebrate after fasting and worshiping during the month of Ramadan. It's always, as a single person, and I don't live very close to family, it's always a lonely time for single people, you know what I mean? Because everyone's decorating, dressing in matching outfits, got the kids together and stuff. So, looking forward to those type of, family moments that are spousal, not regular family, you know what I mean? So that would be nice.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say first Ramadan together, right? First Ramadan together, first suhoor together. What you fixing them? What you fixing for y'all?
Oh, so we used to do this in my family. Probably the first week of Ramadan would be extra special, where we'd have whatever his preference are in terms of what he likes for breakfast, grits, eggs, pancakes. We got the halal beef bacon, fruit, coffee, tea, things like that. That was something that growing up we did. Usually the first week of Ramadan, you're all energized and excited before the tiredness settles in, and it's a little more simple. So, a discussion depending on his favorite foods. We could do that, and what I like.
Okay.
All the things I named are things I like. So.
Okay. So yeah. Are y'all maybe dressing alike for that Eid? Y'all matching outfits?
I would definitely do that at least once. I think it's cute and corny at the same time, but I like it. So I definitely would want to do that at least once.
Okay. Do you have any hobbies or creative pursuits?
Yes, I am a paper crafter, mostly in my head. I try to do it when I can. Like I card make, I scrapbook, make baby albums, mini albums, like, basically documenting my life, family, things like that. So that's primarily what I do and have a lot of supplies to do. And then, I like to travel, especially internationally, and read, watch movies, hang out with friends. But yeah, I love to scrapbook, paper craft, I would say.
Are you gonna share your space with him, or does he have to have his own? Like, if he was a
Oh,
crafter too, he
he's
need his own
gonna
crate.
have his own space. There is no room, so he's gonna have to upgrade me because I also don't have an extra room here. So, and if he saw my scrapbook supplies, he would not want to share the space.
Okay. Inshallah.
Yeah, we need togetherness and separation, you know.
Okay. So if he offered you a mar from within his means, like what might it look like? Ideally, like if you could fantasize it into reality.
I have never specified a mahar to a guy ever. Like when they've asked me, my answer has always been, let's get to know each other. You get to know me, my personality, what I like, don't like, things like that, and you choose. Maybe have a few options for me to pick from or something. But I've thought, of course, every woman's thought about, what's nice, what they love, but I've never specified, and I won't now.
Okay.
I think, I feel like it should be from the heart. It should be sincere. And if someone's into you and they get to know you, through the courtship and stuff like that, they should be able to, come up with, it's a gift, right? They should be able to come up with a gift that you would like. So I'm more that, the mahar is a one-time gift transaction that facilitates the marriage. I'm more concerned about the marriage, like what can he do in the marriage long term? Like, the mahar is a one-time thing, but can he can he maintain a family, going forward, things like that. So that's more important to me than the one-time gift.
Okay. The sister asks, is polygyny an option you'll consider?
No, I am not interested in polygamy at this time. I think it would take a very extraordinary brother that would make me, that would change my mind about polygamy. I grew up in polygyny. My mom was a third wife, so I've lived the life as a child of polygamy, from a polygamous family and a polygamous community, and it's not something that I'm interested in for myself at this time. Yeah.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. Would you be up to relocating, or does the brother have to be in the area or be willing to come to you?
I'm open. I'm open. It depends on, where it is and, the setup and work and stuff. As long as I'm able to work out of there, if I need to work and want to work, then I'm open to relocate.
Inshallah. Okay. So which one of the Sahaba would you say you are most like?
Oh, I'm most like? I have no idea. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. I thought it was role model, but I don't know. I don't think that's a lofty goal. I don't know if I measure up to any, right? So
okay then. So as a role model, which one would you say you strive to be the most like?
I've never thought, I saw the question, but I've never thought about it because, they all brought different examples and lessons of how we should live different aspects of our life. So I honestly don't know.
Okay, then. Okay, would you say which one of the Prophet's wives have you studied the most?
I know I haven't really, I mean, in-depth study, no, I haven't done, but I probably know more about his first wife, Lady Khadija,
Okay.
the most. Although it's so funny, I listened to a podcast of Mother of the Believers. I don't know if you've heard that
Yes.
series. It is
Yes.
amazing,
Yes.
and I learned so much about a lot about the prophets' other wives, that things that they did and strengths that were like mind blowing, that I'd never read before and things like that, because I never really looked into it. I think Lady Khadija is the forefront in many's mind, but I mean all of his wives are special and had different strengths, but the one I know more about the most is Lady Khadija.
Okay.
Please.
Is that before or after she marries him?
Probably after. I'm not sure if I know much about who she was besides a businesswoman before, and what types of things she got into. I've not read anything specific about that, I don't think. Not that I could recall.
Okay. Okay.
Welcome, salam to all the newbies.
Alhamdulillah. Yes, pardon me. Okay.
Hussein wants to get on and co-host.
Yeah. Okay. He does, actually, like, for real. So thank you. Please excuse me. Okay. Do you have 6-month goals or plans?
Not
Man.
really. I mean, my goals are always the same until I've conquered them, which are always like work-life balance, health, just being able to relax more, travel more, reduce stress, things like that. But I don't have any specific 6-month goals right now that I thought about.
What are your self-care? What is your self-care routine involved right now? Like, how could the brother help you help yourself relax?
For relaxing, don't be a stressor.
I can hear you.
Don't contribute to my stress in terms of him helping me relax. Another thing would be nice to have a built-in masseuse, right? If he can give a good massage. That's something that I love. And I've been actually thinking about looking into either re-enrolling or finding a Groupon to get a massage. But I always, Muslims and stuff, we grew up being so modest and stuff. I'm always I hate going to these massage salons and, and things like that. So being able to have a husband that's willing and able to give a good massage at home would be nice. That would be, and foot rubs, definitely. Foot rubs.
So inshallah, what would courtship look like?
Definitely someone, that's very, intentional, right? What I look for when a brother approaches me is consistency. That, you approach me because there was something about me that you're interested in getting to know, in terms of if there is some kind of connection or chemistry towards marriage. And so after the, you initiate and we start talking and stuff, I want to see, your commitment to getting to know each other, being consistent in communication, in following through with, either calling, or if you're not local, or even if you are local, getting together so that we could, get to know each other and things like that. I found that the brothers I've talked to, they approach me, as I don't typically approach men, but then they kind of fall off. They're inconsistent in calling, they don't respond back to texts, and if they're not local, or even if they are local, they don't make plans for us to go for a walk in a park or see some sights in DC just to hang out and things like that. And so I don't want to have to wonder if you're interested in, if you really want to get to know me, are you you really serious about marriage? I mean, if I'm not getting that energy that you're really serious about this, I will bench a brother with the quickness.
Okay, I
So,
mean,
yeah.
what are some other red flags, inshallah? What are some other red flags? Like there's inconsistent, but what about like clingy? If you go from one extreme to the next.
Yeah. I think one big red flag in the beginning, especially when you're first getting to know someone, is people typically you don't know each other's schedule, so you usually have a conversation like, what's a good time to call? I work from here to here. I'm usually available in the evening, or on the weekends, whatever. Someone that constantly calls me all the time, like even when I say like, hey, I'm gonna be in meetings, like typically if I'm working, sometimes I can answer the phone, but if not, just leave a message, I'll call you back. Or I let you know ahead of time, hey, I'm gonna be in a wall of meetings for the next couple of days between there, so I'm not available, or I'm traveling. And so unlike when I'm home, if I'm traveling for work and with my team, typically there's extra things we do after the work day that I may not be available, and you're constantly calling when I've told you that, that's annoying and a red flag for me. Or if you're what's the other thing? Oh, I had it on top of my head. Always calling late at night, you know what I mean? Like, I am not a booty call, you know what I mean? I'm not feminine energy that you want because you're laying in bed and like lonely, you know what I mean? And so I think it's disrespectful unless there's some conversation and something's going on and I'm like, okay, it's okay. But calling after like 11, 10 at night consistently is a red flag. And I've had to tell someone, I won't pick up the phone. Like, don't, and especially if I notice it's a pattern. It's one thing if, depending on his work schedule, we touch base and stuff late because I am a night owl. But if your consistent pattern is calling me late at night when it's your end of the day and finally you're laying down bored with nothing else to do, and now you remember me, that's a red flag to me. It makes me feel like, okay, well, maybe I'm an afterthought. Like, you haven't made the effort to like get to know me, like, talk to me during reasonable hours, and now that you're laying in bed bored and want to do something before you fall asleep, I'm not down for that. I cannot sing. I'll sing if you want me to, but you may not want me to. A built-in singer? No, I cannot sing. I saw the question in the chat.
What'd you say?
Someone asked if I want a built-in masseuse. What if the brother wants a built-in singer? Can I sing? I can sing. Am I a good singer? No. Am I better in the shower? Probably. But still probably bad.
Okay. Look, I don't know if it's too forward to ask this or not, but is a brother who is only willing to shower alone the type of person that you would be interested in marrying, or should somebody not be that kind of
I don't know if I would
that kind of solitude all the time?
I don't know if I'd care to know that. I have never thought about that, and I've never been asked something like that in all my adult years. So I don't know if it would be a big deal. Like, I don't think it's a deal breaker. I'd probably be curious to know why, But yeah, I mean, these standard showers today can't hold, like, the shower in my bathroom can't hold two people comfortably anyway. So if we're talking group showers, we need a group shower bathroom. I'm talking spa quality, So
if he has a spa quality bathroom, that's not off the table. If that's not too forward to ask.
I don't think so. I've never thought about it, but if you're married, you're engaged in things that I think are way more intimate than a shower together. So
I would think so, but okay. You'd be surprised, sis, so you probably want to know beforehand. For real.
No. Don't give me any more things to think about. I have never thought about that at all.
Okay. For real, you be singing to yourself on some days. Look, okay. So what are some other green flags? What are some green flags? How do you know he'd be interested in you? Like, what could he do to win you?
I'm consistent. I think, again, consistency and communication, upfront about, you don't have to state out all your expectations, a laundry list of I want this, that, or the other, but just, I'm looking for a leader, someone that will take the initiative to like do things, make plans. Don't leave it to me to like suggest things or whatever. After a few weeks of talking, like if we met online or something like that, whether you're local or not, making fairly quick plans or immediate plans to like meet in person. Because, in this virtual world of social media and stuff, to me, social media and stuff has opened up the world for you to meet people that you wouldn't necessarily meet in your backyard, but it also creates a barrier as well for, people get comfortable with the lack of interpersonal interactions. It's all virtual and stuff. And in the realm of marriage, getting to know someone for marriage, it's not real to me if we've never met. I need to, we need to have consistent in-person interactions. I need to meet your family. I need to meet some of your friends, see who's in your world, and vice versa. I don't mind vice versa. It doesn't always have to be one-on-one, getting to know. After a good point, if we know, okay, we really are into each other, marriage is looking like, it could be definitely a good thing, having some group outings with friends or family. Don't have to be your parents, could be your cousin, your Uncle Ray, whatever, you know what I mean? But definitely a brother that, takes charge, is intentional, makes it clear that he's not only interested, but he backs it up, like in terms of like, let's do things. Like, again, just the phone stuff gets tired. I'm not going to be texting, talking forever for months and months and months without, any meeting and stuff. So.
Okay. What's the shortest time you would need to get married?
Probably 6 months. My average has always been about a year to get to know someone before marriage. So I think 6 months would probably be my absolute shortest. I mean, for me, marriage is a lifetime thing. My goal is to get married, to stay married to that person. I'm not interested in the, merry-go-round marriages. And so, you never know. Like, the prophet said, you don't really know someone until you live with them, done business with them, travel with them. So, you could do all you can, and maybe it's not a good fit after the marriage and you're actually living together and, traveling and all that, working together and all that stuff. But it takes a little time. And I think 6 months is a minimum to like not only get to know each other some, but also meet his family, meet each other's family and friends, like the people that he's around that, influences his life.
Okay. What are some lessons that you've learned about marriage watching other married couples?
Ooh, so many lessons. We don't have time for that.
Okay. What are like one of the top ones?
Oh.
One of the top ones.
Definitely make sure. I know in Islam, because folks put more weight on like the Islamic marriage versus the secular government marriage and stuff. A lot of times, folks don't have their former marital affairs in order before marrying someone else. Like a lot of times, people aren't like divorced. Like they may be Islamically divorced, but they're not divorced through the government and things like that. And, although they're broken up or separated from that ex-spouse, but I am not down with that. Like you need to clean up, like your whole house need to be cleaned. The papers need to be final and legal. Go ahead and pay that $1,000 divorce fee, brother, to get that divorce. There's a cost. There's always a cost. I mean, it's a money-making business for the government, but I don't, one of the things I've seen is that, and even brothers that have approached me, like it's always sometimes complicated. Like they're not with their former wife, but still legally tied and stuff. I'm not down with that. And I know some sisters only, they may be okay with it because of the Islamic part or whatever, but that's not me. So I think that's a major one. I don't like messy in terms of relationships.
Would you consider brothers outside the United States?
I would. I have seriously spoken to some brothers that were not living in the U.S., were not U.S. citizens, but they have to be able to get a visa on their own. I am not your ticket to a visa unless you got the coins to be a ticket to the visa. But if you had the coins, you could get it on your own. So refer back to my first statement. And by coins, I'm not talking about thousandaires either. I mean, on a serious note, I think it's because I would always wonder, you know, are you really into me for me, or am I, even if you stay for a while after or whatever, I mean, was it always the ticket to America type of thing? And I've seen it too. I've had friends that met folks overseas, got married, brought them here, and the marriage lasted as long as up until they got that citizenship. And very quickly after, things fell apart and they were divorced. And so I don't know, you know, how my friend felt about it. I never, you know, felt bold enough to ask them that or whatever, I'm sure, you know, but that would always be a wonder. So you have to be actively, and I understand the struggle. I'm Caribbean. My parents are from St. Lucia, so both my parents are naturalized citizen. A lot of my family, you know, some of my family that are here came here through that process of marrying, you know, a U.S. citizen and things like that. People file for others and things like that. So I get it. But in this day and age, I mean, I think it might have been different. I don't know. It's just not for me right now.
Okay. What lessons about communication have you learned watching other married couples?
You definitely have to be open. Well, one, obviously being able to listen, really listen and process what your spouse or partner is telling you. Be empathetic, goes a long way, but also be open. Like, you can't, no one is a mind reader. And so I think it's important for couples, you know, when your spouse does something that hurts your feelings or, you know, upsets you or disappoints you or whatever it is, you know, don't hold it in. Like, I mean, there's a way to say things, like with tact and stuff, something I got to work on. I'm pretty blunt.
We like you though. We like you though.
But I think, you know, it's important for couples to teach their spouse, you know, or their partner what they like and don't like. You know what I mean? In all aspects of the marriage. Like, if someone's doing something that upsets you, like he don't put his clothes in the hamper. The hamper is right there in the bathroom behind the door, but he constantly drops the clothes on the floor by the tub, takes a shower, and forgets by the time he gets out the shower to pick up his clothes and put it in the daggone hamper. Instead of you, as the wife, put it in the hamper all the time, and it always upsets you, and you never say anything, so he never learns. Tell him, you know.
Does that bother you though? Does that as long as he don't get on you about, you know, because sometimes people will do certain things and they don't make a big deal about it when somebody else does the same thing. But sometimes people will do certain things and then they'll make a big deal about it when it's you, right? Like, would that really bother you if he was the type to, like, drop his clothes on the floor, you know, but he would also help you with the laundry without fussing?
That would have bothered me because I drop my clothes on the floor. I don't have a hamper in my bathroom. So honestly, I live alone. Like, my dirty clothes, I drop them behind the door until I take them to drop them in the washer. So it all depends. Strewn across the floor and room, probably not. I am definitely not like a neat freak. But if he's constantly making a mess but not helping clean up, that would definitely annoy me.
Okay.
But I can't, like, expect something more than what I'm doing myself. So definitely things to talk about.
Okay. The brother asks, would you consider a muta? And if so, could you explain to people just a little bit what the muta is?
I know Clyde. He's a long.
Wait. And then the brother says, said she wants to be married for life. So can we tie that?
So, so Clyde is just starting some controversy. I've known him for a long time, and alhamdulillah, you know, he's learned a lot about Islam from me. We're going to still pray that we convert him, y'all. He is not Muslim. He's Christian. But he's known me since undergrad, so he knows all about Islam through my wholesome teachings.
Okay, alhamdulillah.
But it's something, you know, for those that don't know about, you know, Shia Islam, you know, muta marriages, which is a temporary marriage, has been a big controversy between Sunni Muslims and Shia Muslims since after the death of the Prophet, right? So, you know, it's the position of the Sunnis that it was prohibited. It was allowed during the time of the Prophet, but was prohibited after his death, or prohibited at some point, whatever it is. I'm not a scholar. I'm not going to get into the technicalities of that. Okay. And it is the view of the Shia Muslims that it was never prohibited, that the examples in history that the Sunnis are referring to in terms of when certain people were told not to engage in muta was a case by case thing for that person, that the muta was not a good idea for those people that came to, you know, either was a prophet or whoever asking about their situation. It is something that she has practiced. It's something that I've never practiced. It's not something I'm interested in. As father of Sana said, I do want to be married for life. And also I feel like I understand the practice. I understand the practicality of it, especially for those that, you know, maybe have been married before divorce. I won't say elderly people, but there's some people that are no good married, but they still have physical needs, let's be clear. And, you know, we know in Islam fornication is a sin and all that stuff. And so there is a place and purpose for it. And one thing about muta marriage is, you know, both parties know the deal. I mean, that's the whole point, right? But I don't agree with the way it's practiced today. A lot of people, and Sunnis still do it too. They have what they call misyar marriage, and if they don't believe in that, then they're just out here fornicating. But
we call it muta, or we call it muta. Yes,
exactly. Yes. So, but how that that type of temporary marriage has been corrupted, I would say this in today's society, I call it halal hoeing. Yes, halal hoeing, okay? Because a lot of people... Is it hoeing if it's allowed? Well, that's why I use quotes, because it's, I feel like it's one of those things where some Muslims feel like, oh, I'm doing things within the parameters of Islam, but they're making a mockery of Islam and Allah's tenets and what the Prophet, you know, the Prophet's message, and they think that, oh, you know, I got the game, you know, rigged or whatever, but, you know, like Allah says in the Quran, you know, you think to deceive, but you're deceiving only yourself. And that's not just talking about the kafirs or the munafiqun and all that stuff. That applies to Muslims too. Yeah. And so I think people have to be very careful with the intentions behind it and the practice, because a lot of people are just using it to hop in and out of beds, And how is that different than living the mainstream, non-practicing Muslim life that everybody else is doing? You know what I mean? And so it's something, especially not knowing the intentions of some, you know, the other person too. I'm not, you know, I'm not here to be someone's cuddy buddy, you know, temporarily and all that stuff. And it's definitely not something I would do for like a first marriage. Like I said, I've never been married. Understood. So, but you know, if I've been around the block like 10 times, maybe that I would have been doing that. I don't know, but no, Clyde, no.
No, because it still requires standards. It still requires rules. It still requires sincerity.
Yep.
You know. Yeah, and I've seen where it's really worked out for some people, and then I've also seen where like people get, I want to say, more traditionally married, okay, and they still end up on the ID channel, sis. So like for real, it's about intention.
I want to clear up some stuff, because I know some people, respectable people, that have done muta. Now there's different types of mutas. It's a contract between the two people, and people have done non-sexual mutas, and the reason why And I respect that. The reason why folks do it is, you know, when you like somebody, you know, men-woman interaction, it's natural to have feelings, want to hold hands, things like that. And so in the courtship, I know some folks that have had a muta marriage with the brother during the courtship so that they don't fall into haram unintentionally, because, you know, they say when two people together, even if you're out in public, the third person is shaitan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, to allow them to be able to, if you're going to a movie, you're sitting next to each other, your shoulder might brush, you know what I mean? You might want to like cuddle under his shoulder a little bit or something, like hold hands when you're walking through the park or whatever. So if you want to be able to do that, and not, you know, play footsie, whatever, you know, maybe that would be okay, I think, for muta marriage. But I think just for the intention of like sex is not for me. But to make sure I don't, in a courtship phase, I'm not doing haram, maybe I'd consider it. But it all depends on the brother I'm talking to, and if I trust him. I trust him to respect boundaries, because, as you know, we all have that girlfriend or guy friend that, oop, papa baby or whatever, like things just happen. I don't know, it just happened. You know what I mean? So it all depends. My first thing, it's, you know, I've been asked that before from like some of the Shia brothers I've talked to, but I was really turned off because they didn't even know me. It was the first thing they asked. It was like the first thing.
Yes, ma'am.
I said it was the first thing they asked. So I was very offended, because it was like, you know, you just met me. We've not even been talking a week. And the first thing you want to know is what I do a muta. Like, I don't know your intentions. Like, I found it like very it's just a reality of things. To me, it's just like halal, you know, dating or whatever. It just, it was just like, I don't know, not organic. It's like, I felt like they were like, oh, okay, really asking, are you willing to sleep with me? You know, are you that accessible type of thing? You know nothing about me. You don't even know if you really like me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and you know what other Muslims do, like the traditional practice for a lot of like foreign Muslims, like the Desi Muslims and Indians and stuff, they don't do muta. What they'll do, like especially with the youth and stuff, is if two of their children are getting to know one another, what they'll do is they'll have a nikah. They'll have a permanent nikah, and while they're courting and getting to know each other without the walima, you know, again, typically, I know I've heard things happen, right? But the idea is it's supposed to be a non-sexual, you know, nikah. And usually it's like with the young kids, like while they're still in college, you know what I mean? So they're in school and they're like, you know, married, or really they call it an engagement, but Islamically they're really married, you know what I mean? And like they're getting to know that person throughout their college, like undergrad or whatever, and then after, if they still like each other or want to get married, then they have the walima and all that stuff. So that's something I know from other cultures, you know, other Muslims, that they do with their youth, and maybe some of the older folks do it too. But so I guess walk it back a little. I won't say never, but I think it would be down the line, like if I'm saying 6 months to a year, if at month 6 or 7 we're like, okay, we want to like be able to hang out more, like at each other's place without it being haram or something, maybe. But again, it depends on the guy. It depends on if he's honorable and trustworthy, and it would definitely be non-sexual.
You know what? Like, okay, so I've seen it outlined like that in the Quran, you know, where it says, you know, you have the mar, you exchange the mar, you have of course the nikah, and then you may or may not consummate, which determines whether or not you return the mar, or not, and then you have the walima, you know, in the event you choose to stay together. So, you know, I don't think you have to put any kind of term on it, you know, but I understand the purpose of the muta, especially in easing people into a more permanent situation. So, I think next time, inshallah, that's how I would do it as well. we can hold off on the party. Let me see if
Yeah,
I like you first. Yes.
exactly.
Okay. Now, do you have love languages?
Ooh. Um, I don't know. I've never thought about it. Um, for me, actions speak louder than words. So, I look more to what a brother does
Hmm.
than what he says. A lot of people can talk the talk, but not walk the walk. And so, I appreciate that and look at that more, especially, in the courtship and stuff, so in a courtship you really don't know the person, y'all not living together, we're not traditionally dating in the American sense and things like that. So for me, um you know keeping your promises, keeping your word, is definitely high up on my list. I've never been in like like I said, I haven't been married and stuff or like lived with a guy, so I don't know what other I don't know what love languages I would have. I don't know.
Could
Reciprocity is big with
mhm.
me. Reciprocity, being respectful, that kind of stuff, I guess.
Yes. Would that fall under just building a friendship?
Probably, probably. And
Yeah.
it's I've been on my own for a long time now, being single and stuff, and having to do some of the more grunt worky things. Like sometimes it's hard to um, find like a guy that'll help with some things. Like for example, like different times when I've moved or bought something off Marketplace or Craigslist and needed someone with a truck. Someone that not like, so the brother may not own a truck, but if you have a buddy that has a truck, or you could arrange to like let's rent a Home Depot truck and help me like do kind of more the masculine things, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
That I think would be a love language for me, because I've often been disappointed in different times, like, in this area that I live, the brothers, just I know as, in the community and stuff, when I've put out request for help, like, I need help moving, this bed that I bought or something. Does anyone have a truck? I'll pay for gas or whatever. Like, the brothers don't step up in the community that I've lived in here. When I've needed help in terms of like needing another pair of hands or a body or a strong person, it's always been the sisters that have stepped up, borrowing their family's van or a truck or something, that their brother's truck or something to help me before any brothers. And so I think that would definitely be a love language. A man that's a man, you know what I mean? And willing to help, especially if I mean, it's one thing to and knowing that a sister is single, and lives alone and stuff and doesn't have like brothers or her father or someone local to like help with those kind of things. So I think that would definitely be a love language for me. Um, a brother that, does those type of things.
Okay. Not just for you, but for other sisters as
As
well.
well. Yeah, definitely.
Inshallah.
Definitely.
Okay. Do you ever require alone time?
Yeah. I mean, I live alone, so I have lots of alone time, but there's times when I just need to decompress. Usually, if it's been a stressful day at work or something, and I come home, or even if I'm working from home and I've logged off, sometimes I need just a little time to like unwind, watch a show, read some of my book or something. Like tonight, I just got back from traveling. I was tired. Several people called me. My mama, Clyde. I ignored all the calls because I wasn't in a space to talk. Like I just wanted to relax, and rest a little bit before this interview with you. And so someone I think that would appreciate that when you need time to, just decompress, and will give you that space without, keep trying to talk to you or stuff, especially when I'm mad. Like if we've
Mm-hmm.
had an argument, if I'm mad, um, typically, so that, I'm Caribbean. I have a Caribbean temper sometimes. And so it's best, I recognize with myself, sometimes it's best for me to just, walk away, you know, take a beat, calm down, and things like that. And so someone that respects that and gives you that space, definitely. Because you never want to say, you know, the wrong thing. And I would never want to say the wrong thing in anger, you know what I mean, that I really don't mean, because you can't take that back. So, yeah.
Okay. So Instagram is giving us our 5-minute warning.
Okay.
Where can this good brother find you, inshallah? How would he get in touch with you or your wali?
Well, I live in the DC area. If they're watching or see this video, they could contact you to get in touch with me. Like I said, I have some scholars in my family. I have, one of my cousins' husband is a sheikh. One of my stepsisters' husband is a sheikh. And so reach out to people that you know me. If you don't, if you can't get in touch with me directly, I'm on, I don't know if it comes up on this or not, but on IG, you can send me a message, and we can go from there.
Inshallah. Okay. Thank you so much for catching up with me and for participating
Thank you.
in this program. I pray Allah bless you with an awesome mate.
And you.
For your one-time only marriage, long term.
Both of us. Yes. At this point, at my age, it might be a one and done. I don't know how long I have left in this world. So.
Okay, may He bless you with some triplets. Trinidad, Tobago, and Togo.
Well,
that's right.
We'll have to hang out soon, inshallah. This year,
Yes, inshallah. Okay, between now and Ramadan, for real. Okay. All right. Thank you again, Vernetta.
So we'll definitely have to make.
What'd you say?
I said it's coming faster than we realize, so we'll definitely have to make plans real soon.
Yes, real soon, inshallah. Okay.
All right. Thank you for all the facilitators. Thanks for the guests. I appreciate y'all.
What's your friend's name?
Oh, Clyde.
Clyde, you better get in the Quran, Clyde. You're going to miss some awesomeness, Clyde. Okay? Stop dragging your feet, brother. Okay.
Well, he's married, so he's a lost cause to Islam. I don't know. But there's always hope. Keep hope alive. We'll convert them both.
Okay, yeah, there you go. 2 new community members. Bye, Clyde. Okay.
Yes, he's been long time married. When I met him, he was with his now wife, and he has 2 beautiful sons. I'm really proud of the father he is and the husband he is. That he's a role model for fatherhood and husbandhood. I'm real proud of you, Clyde.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Yes. Right on there. Okay.
All right.
Thank you again, Vernetta. Okay. Love you much.
Love you too.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, y'all.
Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ameen.
Okay. I don't know how you.